Here we are back again on Lewis Tompkins Hose with two great guys, Denny Lahey and Steve Vanburen. Denny, what is the biggest difference you have seen in the fire department from when you joined until today?
Lack of manpower, decline in members joining. Okay, we've gone where each company was allowed 75 members. And then back then it was full. You had to ask people to go exempt to get people on the rolls. Today, it's terrible. Beacon Engine doesn't have any active men anymore. The one they have is leaving, he's moving out of the city. Mays Looking Ladder has about 5, if they have 5. Interior-wise, there's none out of there, okay? Tompkins Hose has, I think I say 15 or so, or better. But 5 of them are fire police. And there's only one interior, well 2. My son, who's an assistant chief, and one other guy. They're the only 2 interior firefighters that the city of Beacon has right now.
And how do they get along with the career guys here, you know?
We don't have any problem here.
Good respect for one another?
Oh yeah, no problem at all with our career guys.
That's great. How about you, Rip? What's the biggest difference you have seen in the fire department from when you joined until today?
Yeah, I'm gonna echo what Denny says. Manpower. When I was chief in Beacon, I had 3 companies. Each company has 75 guys on the roll. You get a working fire, you get 100 firefighters from the city of Beacon on the scene. I mean, we could have picked buildings up, carried them down, and dropped them in the river to put them out if we really had to. Other than that, in terms of firefighting equipment, I'm gonna go with large diameter hose. We started out with 2.5 was our supply line. Now they have 5-inch hose. It's like a above ground water main. Not a big fan of it because it's heavy, it's hard to move, a lot of work to repack it and everything. But in terms of supplying a pump water supply, you can't beat large diameter hose.
That's great. Okay. Denny, what difference have you seen in the equipment during your membership?
Well, when I came into the company, we had a 40 Mac, open cab, and we used to, in the winter time, we had bad storms, we had to stand by the firehouse. And at that time, going back in the 60s, that's when I told you Groveville Mills used to have constant fires. There were dye houses up there, and they had constant fires on the roof. So you would have to leave, and like I say, you're riding an open cab. And I think I was second lieutenant at the time. It was in the winter time. We had a call up there, and we went out with the open cab back, started up, and Frank Spitzer was driving. He was an old-time member. He says, "You're gonna have to help me." I said, "The windshield wipers, so you're gonna have to turn them for me because it was snowing." So that's there. I said, and then we got the 63 LaFrance, and like I say, they were called janitor drivers back at that time. And we got that, and I was a captain, and they were going out on a drill. And I told them, because I worked at IBM in Poughkeepsie, and I was on the fire brigade up there, and they had a 47 LaFrance up there that I used to drive and operate. And we got out on the drill, and I told them, "We're going to hook the thing." "No, you can't do that." I said, "Yeah, you got to put it into the pump." "Oh no," I said, "because before we got that 63 LaFrance, all you got to fight a fire was water pressure off the hydrant. They never went through a pump. Never."
Wow.
So whatever the hydrant produced, that's the only water you had.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, like I say, we're out on the drill, and the driver's, "No, you can't do that." I said, "Yes, you can." I said, "I'm telling you." He said, "No." I said, "Okay." So I called the chief, Frank Angelo. I told him what was going on. He says, "Okay, let me see if I can get a hold of Bob McGee." He was the guy that sold it to us. He lived out in the country somewhere. And he got him to come in. I said, I tried to explain to him. So he had to explain to the driver on duty. And then he was coming in when each guy was on duty, that you take the hose, you put it into the intake, you take the hose, you put it to the outtake, you know. And they just didn't understand that. They thought it was just to fill the tank, the 500-gallon tank that we had. So
Wow.
that was that was a big change there. And then, like I say, all the newest equipment we got, like I say, when we got our something, that was one of the best firefighter machines. You couldn't, anywhere on that engine, the back, front, side, there was a place where a hose came off that you didn't have to worry about it. And Rip was a big instrument in that one.
Now, is the whole city of Beacon all hydrants?
Yes.
So none of your trucks have porta tanks on them?
Yeah, each truck has a.
No, each engine has a tank, no porta tanks.
Wow,
We don't do any tanker operations. It's all hydrants.
that's amazing. So you never call anyone to bring a tank, it's just an engine?
Well,
we have
had tankers in town, especially after blizzards where all the hydrants are buried and you can't find them. A few
Okay.
years ago, Pleasant Valley actually put one of their tankers down here in this station with one of Pleasant Valley's career guys for probably 2 or 3 days until the guys could go around and hand dig out all the hydrants.
Shame on them. So Rip, what's the difference you have seen in the equipment during your membership?
Well, I think there's 2 big things that I'd like to talk about because I'm beyond Denny, so by then they were putting the lines into the intake and water going out to discharge. So that had been taken care of. Chief Lahey took care of that. I'm going to say 2 things. When I first joined in 70s, SCBAs. That was a luxury item. You didn't have enough of them for everybody. And I was told when I first joined, oh, we only use them for the big fires. Well, now we know that you use SCBA at every fire because the toxics that come off today's burning, it's important that you wear your air. So I'm going to go with the advancements in SCBA and the acceptance of SCBA. And I'm also going to go with portable radios. Back in the day, the only ones that had portable radios were really the chiefs.
Right.
Inside the buildings, the line officers, the firefighters didn't have radios. Now everybody carries a radio. So those 2 things, the advancement in self-contained breathing apparatus and portable radios, probably are the biggest things. And in terms of safety and health of our firefighters, both those things are important. I'd like to digress a little. When I was working in the city of Poughkeepsie Fire, we had a fire over on Allen Place on the northeast side of the city. And it was a kitchen fire on a 2nd floor apartment. And my lieutenant said, I want you to go up into the attic space and check that out and make sure we have no extension. Well, I always wore my air. I'm up there in my pack. I'm searching around. And all of a sudden I hear this voice come out of smoke. Well, do you see anything? And it was Lieutenant Chuckanowski, who's up there, standing up in all the smoke, no air pack, because in his day, they didn't wear air.
And the smoke wasn't as dangerous as it is today.
As it is today, that's for sure.
That's
I'd
when
like to go back to the air packs again too. When I first joined, all you had was 4 MSA mine safety masks and 2 Kymac masks.
Chemex.
That's all that was on the apparatus. So most of the guys were afraid to use the Chemox, okay? Because what happens was when you took the canister and threw it in the water, it would explode, okay? So most of the guys, so just me and Phil Dinan were the only ones that used the Chemox because they lasted longer. You could almost get an hour out of
An
it.
hour, yeah.
Wow.
For the mine safety.
You remember those, Vin?
No.
It was a canister mask, but it had lungs. It was really a rebreather. So what you did, you cycled your exhale through the cylinder that you wore that Denny talked about, and it would heat up. But the bottom line was you were refiltering your air that you were breathing over and over again with a big set of lungs inflating and deflating on your chest. Nothing on your back.
And mine safety was just a regular, you know, you bred with the charcoal and stuff in there. That's the only thing you bred. So I mean, back then you had a lot of toxic fires too.
No, was it good per se?
But that's what they had.
That's what you had. That was the predecessor to the self-contained breathing apparatus using compressed air.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Denny, what's the difference you have seen in apparatus when you first started until today? Talk about that Mac, you know, right?
Yeah, well, like I say, going back to the Mac, like I say, that was just a 1940 when they got just a basic engine, you know, it had a pump on it. 750 pumping that on it. And like I said, they never had all the connections that you had to take an intake and an outtake and all that stuff in there. And so they never pumped, only when they pumped out of the river or something like that, drafted, that's the only time they used it. And like I say, the way the new pumps are, and everything is done electronically and out there, it's amazing, let me tell you. And the same with the ladder trucks. I mean, the ladder trucks have come a long way too. I mean,
Okay, how about you, Rip?
Well, first of all, I'm glad we got roofs over the cabs. Like Denny said, the Mac down here was an open roof. When I started in Glenham in '70, their American LaFrance had a open cab. And when I worked in the city of Poughkeepsie, all of them were open cabs. And I think the first closed cab engine was 1974. The city of Poughkeepsie bought a Mac as engine one, a CF 600. That had a closed cab. Before that, all the engines were open. So just in terms of, driving in a rainstorm or a snowstorm, you were protected in a cab where you could at least see what was going on. In terms of the apparatus now, oh my God, they used to be basic. They basically have a 24-foot extension ladder and a 14-foot roof ladder on the side, and you had to lift them off. Now you have ladder racks that hydraulically bring them down to street level where you can get them. You have light towers. Back then we used to have to start a gasoline generator, run cords with a Circle D light. Now they can pull up, they can flip on scene lighting, put towers up. Just the other day we had the Breakneck Ridge fire down here.
How was
And
it?
I was down here as a deputy coordinator for Dutchess, and Rombout was there with their latest engine, and they got a light tower, all remote, all telescoping, all automatic. They put it up probably 20 feet in the air. It was illuminating the whole command area, and when they're done, the operator pushes a button, it turns, it retracts, comes down, and beds itself. I mean, so in terms of what they do with apparatus now, it used to be all done by hand with portable generators, gasoline generators, rolling out a light cord, putting a light on it, and walking it to the scene. Now it's with a remote control.
Did you have to close down 9D for that fire?
That fire closed down Route 90 pretty much for, I'm going to say, from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 9 o'clock at night, yes.
Wow. But there's other ways to go around it, right?
Yeah, they can use Route 9.
Okay, wow. That was amazing. Did they know what started that fire?
Metro North work train.
Really?
Back in the day, Denny will tell you, back in the 70s,
Oh, the coal.
there used to be a freight line that ran from Beacon here out to Hopewell, and in the spring, same type weather, when everything was dry and dead along the tracks, that train would go through throwing off sparks. We had grass fires all up and down the line, all the
every
time.
department.
Every
And
department.
when it was coming back, we would know it was coming because it would start somewhere in Hopewell, then it down, around Roundabout, then it got to Glenham, and then we knew we were going to get
I
one.
think those tracks in Hobo went over to Holmes, actually, and same thing used to happen over there.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is incredible.
right out through Stormville, out towards you.
Yeah, wow. That's an amazing fact. When did the city of Beacon go Korea? Anybody know what year that was?
Oh, it was way back when they had Ben, when it was before they became a department. That was before they came, each
Fire company.
fire company had a paid driver to take care of the horse.
Wow, okay.
The Fishkill Landing and Matty One, they had someone in the station all the time.
That's amazing.
I don't know just when it started, but 1886 is when the company's all.
Well, they had the foresight to do that, right?
Yeah, well, we needed somebody to take care of the fire horse. You talk about changes in equipment. We started out with horse-drawn, Maze Hook and Ladder was horse-drawn, we were horse-drawn,
And what was
Actually, Tompkins Hose was the only one that had their own horse. The other ones, they used to have to go to a livery stable and rent them to go.
Brenton? Wow, which is the oldest company?
Beacon Engine. They're a year older than us.
Okay. And what's the
Well,
madness?
not a year.
Okay.
There's so many months, okay? I think
Yeah.
they formed in October and we formed in December. Maze is a year behind us.
What was with the open cabs and all these apparatus in the early days.
That's the way they made them.
If you remember, the first cars were open too.
No, I don't. I'm happy to say that.
Well, think of the Model T. You don't really see roofs on Model Ts.
Our first regular fire truck, okay, the one that got rid of Ben, was an Aaron's Fox, 1918 Aaron's Fox. And that was all open there.
Does,
And
any,
then we didn't get another one until 1940.
does anybody know where that 1918 Aaron
Well,
Fox is?
We all wish we knew what it was.
We all know there's a picture of it right there coming out of the building on Main Street.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Amazing, amazing. So, Denny, what positions have you held in the fire company?
I'm gonna have to read this off to you because,
Okay.
oh God. There's a lot of them. Well, this is my accomplishments of 51 years as an active firefighter. Elected positions. I was elected active membership of Lewis Tompkins Hose in May of 1960. I was elected second lieutenant at 61 until 62. I was elected first lieutenant 62 to 64. Captain 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 80 and 84. Fire warden in 68. Chief of the department 1970 to 71. Second assistant chief 71 to 73. First assistant 73 to 75. Chief again 75 to 77. Trustee 77, 78, 87, 90, and 94. Appointed positions. Steve Vanburen appointed me the first rescue captain in the City of Beacon Fire Department, 1987 to 1989. Appointed by Chief Mike Davis, first safety officer in the City of Beacon Fire Department, 1990 until 2011. Okay, 21 years I served as safety officer. Committees. 6 apparatus committees. I was chairman of 3 of them. 1964 La France pumper, 1980 America La France pumper chairman, 1987 Pierce Rescue chairman, 1994 Sufton, 2005 America La France pumper chairman, and 2006 Pierce Rescue. They were all the committees I served on. Was instrumental in getting the home alerting system for the City of Beacon Fire Department, 1974. New fire station for Tompkins Hose, 1975 to 1980. I put in for that as chief in my budget. Served on the Fire Advisory Board with Jim Fredericks from 1988 1989. Served on the first Rules and Regulation Committee for the City of Beacon Fire Department, 1993, 1994. Served on the 21st Century Committee, planned for a future City of Beacon fire station. Served on a committee looking into the possibility of building a new fire station. That was 1996, 1997, 2005, 2006. Served on the committees to revise the rules and regulations in 2001. So far, that's the history of my.
How about you, Steve?
Well, first of all, Denny's accomplishments here, I don't come close in terms of the company. Okay? I basically hold all 3 lieutenant's officers here at Tompkins Hose, captain. I was chief here at Station 2, basically 1983 through 1995, and then I came back again in 2011. In 1987, myself and 3 other chiefs formed the Dutchess County Hazmat Team, of which I became a deputy coordinator for with Dutchess County. And then after I got out as chief in 95, I became a battalion coordinator for Dutchess County. And pretty much I stay in both of those positions now. So I've been a deputy coordinator for Hazmat since '87. and I've been a